Hello and welcome. Now in this video, we're going to turn NotebookLM into an interactive online course. And assuming that you know how to put together notebooks in NotebookLM, we're going to open up a notebook. And in this notebook, we already have sources. We also already have assets that have been created for those sources. We want to create a discussion area for one or several individuals about these specific assets. To do that, we're going to use free platform classroom.google.com. Once you are logged in, you are going to create a class. You are going to click on Create Class. You need to agree that you're not going to be using this for education or that you need to use Google Workspace for education. We're going to click on the disclosure. We're then going to click Continue. We're going to create a class name. We don't necessarily need a section. If you want to give it a subject or a subject within the class name, you can do it. You won't need a room, so we're just going to now click Create. If you're going to be using this for clients, you are going to want to customize this element. We can select or upload a photo. So it's a good idea that you screenshot this process and then head to NanoBanana Pro within Google Gemini. We're going to turn on Create Images. We're going to upload our screenshot. We're going to ask for Gemini to create the image with NanoBanana Pro. We're going to give it some information and a prompt. NanoBanana Pro is loading, and we're going to allow NanoBanana Pro to create the image that we're going to upload. We're now going to download this image. You typically have a choice between downloading it full size or right-clicking and saving the image, and this is going to be the most efficient in terms of size of the image. The highest resolution is going to be if you click on the image and then you download the image full size. We're now going to upload our banner image to the portal area. We will come back to the portal and we will upload our photo. We can adjust the element and we're now going to click Done. Our element is done. We can now click Save. Whether you're going to have one or several individuals inside of the portal, this is where you're going to make your welcome announcement and you're going to write in what you want the individual to do when they come into the portal. Now, typically, you're going to need to let the individual know that they're going to have to get access to their NotebookLM notebook. You have room here for a YouTube video. So you can set up a YouTube video for them to see, or you can upload that YouTube video from your Google Drive. But you want them to see a video going through the process of getting into their NotebookLM notebook. We're going to post. Now that's just one message. You can write whatever message in here that you want for your welcome message. This is the home page of the portal. We're now going to click over to the Classwork. We're going to create material. You can title the NotebookLM notebook whatever you want. So if you're going to be using multiple NotebookLM notebooks, you want to title your NotebookLM notebook either according to the notebook or something that your client or customer will recognize. If you are a user of Google Workspace, you'll be able to link your notebook directly. If you don't have a Google Workspace subscription, you'll need to create the link and place it here. In this case, we're going to go to the Share button and we're going to share the link. If you're going to give your client full access to the notebook, you want to have full notebook. If you're only going to give them access to the chat, you want to indicate that notebook access is restricted and that only the individual with access can open the link. You want to make sure that your customer is invited. So in this particular case, we've already added the individual that we want to have access to this notebook. What we're now going to do is we're going to click Copy Link, and we're going to head back to the portal. We're going to come into the link. We're going to add in the link. We're then going to click Add Link. The individual will access the notebook here in this area. You're going to assign this to your client, and so it's here where you're going to invite your client to the portal. We're going to save a draft of this post. Now, the individual will need to know that they'll need to check their email in order to get access to the portal. What they'll then need to do is they'll then need to click on this button to join the class. They will then need to join. The individual will then be part of the portal. This is the portal from the individual or your client's perspective. Once we know the individual is in the portal, we can then go back to the notebook. We can then edit the notebook. We can then post the notebook. The individual will then have their notebook. They will then be able to click inside of the notebook. Once you make the notebook available, the individual will then be able to click on the notebook. They'll then be in the classroom. And if you've given the individual access to the notebook, they'll then be able to enter the notebook. And so that individual will then be able to watch any of the content or use any of the sources that you have made available. We can then use the portal in order to interact with the individual. And so you can interact with a discussion-based question. And this is the portal from the perspective of the consultant or the trainer. From the perspective of the client, they'll then see your comment. They can then comment back to you. They will then be able to interact with you. We can use this portal effectively. We can give customer or client something that they need to do. Now, obviously, this is not school, so we're going to have the assignment be ungraded, but we do want to give the individual a due date. And if we want to give this a specific topic, we can give it a specific topic. Now, this is not a class, so we don't necessarily need the rubric, but you can use this element in a way to help your client. So for example, if you want to give them rules on what they need to do in terms of listening to an audio or following the instructions, you can do it here. And we are going to assign this element. Client will see a new assignment, and they'll then see that they need to go to their NotebookLM notebook, listen to an audio, formulate a plan, and then let you know when this is done. And if they're not logging into the portal, they will get an email stating that this is their next assignment. They can click on the details. That'll take them inside of the portal. Now, one alternative that we have when we share the notebook is, you'll notice then that the sharing that we gave the individual can see our sources. They can also see the studio assets. You don't have to do that in your sharing. One way to share is to use the share button, but then to give viewers only access to the chat. You can then save this, and then individuals will not have access to your sources. They'll only have access to the chat. What you'll then need to do is you'll then need to download the assets, and the ones that you want to upload, you'll be able to upload them to the portal. Now, if we share only the chat, this is all that the customer is going to be able to see. They'll be able to interact with your information. They won't be able to create any assets, but they will be interacting with your sources. So as far as the studio assets are concerned, you will only upload the ones that you want to give the customer to. They will not exist inside of the notebook. They will exist inside of the discussion portal. So in this case, we can create an assignment. That assignment can be an upload. That'll be the upload that you just downloaded. And we can provide instructions. We're going to make this ungraded naturally. We may or may not give it a due date, but it's a good idea to provide a due date. And we're going to call this a topic. And we're then going to assign it. So once you begin to assign dates, you're going to look inside of Google Calendar. Those due dates will then be inside of your Google Calendar. You will also have a drive for the class. If you click on this drive folder, part of your Google Drive will be dedicated to this specific class, and everything that you're going to be uploading will be here in your Google Drive. Client or the customer, they will see this assignment in their email. They'll also be able to come to the portal, and they'll then be able to watch the video here in this area.
What if I told you that?
And any other individual in the course will be able to interact based on the video. So they can then comment. You'll get notice of their comment in your email. You'll also be able to go inside of the portal. You'll see their comment, and then you'll be able to react to their comment. And you can then click enter. So you can have an interactive session on the assets from your NotebookLM notebook and keep it private to the individuals that you are going to be interacting with inside of the Google Classroom. And Google Classroom does have a free tier. Okay, so thanks, and I will see you in another video.